Welcome to Mimio Training, Quick Learn on Demand, MimioStudio Basics 2, a tour of MimioStudio Gallery. In this session, we will access the MimioStudio Gallery, learn the difference between an INC file and an MCF file. We'll explore the functions of MimioStudio Gallery, including navigating and searching, moving gallery files within the gallery, exporting gallery content, importing content packs, and importing MCFs. We'll also talk about how to import various file types into the MimioStudio Gallery. To access your MimioStudio Gallery, you basically have two different ways that we can do this. In your Mimio tools, right over here, we can click on the Mimio Gallery browser, and that's going to bring up our gallery. We also can double-click on this icon right down here in the Mimio status bar, and that will bring up our gallery. So I'm going to double-click right down here. You'll see I've got my gallery, it's all loaded, and it's ready to go. It shows up on the right-hand side of my screen here. We have two different file types that we're going to be talking about in our session today. First of all, we have an INC file. An INC file is a set of Mimio notebook pages that create a lesson. I'm working in an INC file right here on the screen here. This is where we create our content and share it with our students. Double-clicking on an icon like this is going to open the file in Mimio Notebook, and all lessons that we create using the software are by default saved as an INC file. An MCF file is a Mimio Gallery file that can include various components. We'll talk about some of the things that we can have in an MCF file in just a little bit. If you double-click on this icon, that's going to load the contents of the file into the Mimio Gallery. An MCF is created when you export your gallery file from your Mimio Gallery. So let's get started with utilizing our Mimio Gallery a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my gallery, navigate to this folder right here, and then I'm going to drag and drop that image onto the notebook page. So I bring my gallery back. I'm going to expand this folder right here, and then I'm going to scroll down to Reading and Language Arts. Click on this plus sign to expand that, and we're going into phonics and vowels, long vowels, and long A. If I click on this arrow to expand, then you'll see I've got a bunch of different images in here. I can just click on one of them, and I'm going to drag it into my page. So I grab the grapes, drag and drop them in there, and now they're in the box. It's a part of my file. So I can grab content from my gallery very easily just by simply dragging and dropping it onto the page where I'd like it. Now we also have a search bar if you don't feel like navigating all the way down through those different levels of menus to get to where you want to go. So what we're going to do this time is I'm going to add that same image of grapes, but this time instead of navigating through everything, I'm going to search for them. So I've got my gallery right here. I'm going to unexpand all of these folders right here. I'm going to select my gallery. And then in the search box right up here, I'm going to type the word grapes. And you see I get a couple of different options for grapes here. I've got red grapes, more of a photography image, the clip art that I had before, and then also raisins. I'll tell you why that showed up in just a little bit. So if I select my top level of my gallery to do my search, then that means it's going to search that top level and all of the subfolders underneath it. So if you're searching for something, I always recommend that you search the top level of your gallery for whatever it is that you're looking for, because it searches the whole thing. So I click and drag it in here, and now that's been added to my file. So I'm good to go there. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to add content into our gallery. We've found out how to get it out, but let's talk about how to put it in there. What we're going to do is I'm going to go back to the previous page, and then I'm going to find a Quick Learn folder that I've already set up. I'm going to drag and drop the image into the gray area underneath, and you'll see what it looks like when I put it in there. Then after that, we'll right-click on that object, and then we're going to select Properties and change the information about it so that we can find it a little bit more easily. So once again, we're going to go back to the previous page, drag and drop content into the gallery, and then view its properties. So I go back here. Here's my image of grapes. I'm going to bring back my gallery. And now this time, I'm going to scroll down here so that I get into my Quick Learn page. And you'll see that it's gray. There's nothing in here. I'm going to click on my grapes, drag them into this gray area, release the button, And now you see I've got a new object that looks just like grapes. When I right-click on that then, I can select on Properties, and I can change the name of my object right here. So instead of New Object, I want to call this Grapes. And then I want to add keywords to it. Keywords are additional search terms that you can use to find objects in your gallery. So you'll notice that when I searched for grapes before, that raisins came up as well. That means that one of the keywords that's associated with grapes is, or with raisins, is grapes. So with this one, maybe I want to do the color purple. Maybe I want to do the word vine. And maybe I want fruit and food. So I've got all of those different keywords, and if I do a search for any one of these, this image is going to show up when I do a search with one of these keywords. Click on OK then, that applies it, and I'm all set to go. So just to show you that that'll work with what we're trying to do here, I'm going to do a search for the color purple, and you'll see I've got purple right here. It shows up with my grapes as well as some other things that have been coded with the word purple. So I can use that to expand my search terms as well as to have my gallery be a little bit more customized. An MCF means a Mimio content file. So this is content that I'm going to be using in my lessons that I can use over and over again and find using my gallery. To keep your gallery a little bit more organized, you can also create folders on your own. So we're going to go back into our Quick Learn folder, and then there are two different ways that we can create a new folder. We can either select the New Folder button in the Mimio gallery, this one right here, or I can right-click on that folder and then click on New Folder. So you want to make sure that you select the destination folder. If I want it to be in the top level of my gallery right here, then that's the one that I need to select. And then I click on the button to create a new folder. If I want to make it as a subfolder within my Mimio or within my Quick Learn folder right here, then I would just select my Quick Learn folder and then click on the button right here that says New Folder. And I'm going to call this First New Folder. Click OK. And you see I've got my first new folder underneath my Quick Learn folder. If I could do this by a right click. So I right click on that, click on New Folder, and we'll call this my second new folder. So we can adjust, we can easily add folders and help keep our gallery a little bit more organized if that's the way that we choose to operate. Supported file types that you can add into your gallery include any kind of images that you can show on your computer. You can also have page templates. Just drag and drop one of these thumbnails from your file or from your ink file, and then drag that into your lesson or into your gallery, and then you can create a lesson template for whatever that page looks like. You can also add multimedia files, things like images, videos, sounds, and flash animations that can be a part of your lessons. One of the things that my teachers really like to do is they like to go to online stopwatch and download some of the stopwatches that they have there, and they'll add that content to their gallery and use those animations as timers in their classrooms. You can also import entire documents, and those go into your gallery as lessons. So if you have a PDF file or a Word document or something like that that you want to add to your gallery, you can just drag and drop it in, and it goes in as a lesson. So you have 4 different file types that you will find in your Mimio gallery. It's a good idea to export your gallery every once in a while, both if you want to share specific aspects of it, but also to make sure to kind of safeguard yourself from data loss. If you put a lot of time and effort into customizing your gallery, it would be a real bummer to lose it. It's really easy to export your gallery. All you do is you select the folder that you want to export, and then you go up into your 2 different ways to do it once again. You can either click on the Export Content Pack button right here, and then that's going to export your gallery. Or you can right-click on your gallery, select Export, choose where you want it to be saved, click Save, and then a backup file is made. Either one of those will get you you where you want it to go. So this would be a way to make it so that you have access to your gallery at your home computer if you don't take your school computer home with you, but also you want to back up your gallery on a regular basis. Bring it to a separate file location, save it to a network drive or something like that, or a Dropbox, just in case you end up losing it. You don't want to lose all of the data that you put in there. Once you've exported it, or if you go to Mimio Connect and you get some of these awesome content packs that you can find on there, you want to be able to import those things. So the way to import a new gallery folder, two different ways to do this. You can navigate to where that MCF file is saved on your computer, and then just double-click on the icon. Automatically imports it into the Imported Content Packs folder within your gallery. Other thing that you could do is you could go into your gallery, click on the Import Content Pack icon, navigate to where the MCF is saved on your computer, select the file, and then open, and then it's going to go into your gallery. So let me demonstrate. I'm going to import an MCF file into my MimioStudio gallery. I've got my gallery right here. I'm going to click on this Import Content Packs button, and now I've got to find the location of the file that I'm looking for. So I have just happened to save it in my documents. So if I can remember where that is, there we go. And we're going to navigate down to the location that I have everything saved. So we'll go in here and my session resources. I've got it right here. So I've got my post-it notes right here. That's the one that I want. I'm going to click on Open. And now you'll see over here I have an Imported Content Packs post-it notes pack. And then I've got my post-it notes right here. I can see what's in there right there. So I have imported those files into my gallery. Now I don't want to keep them in my imported gallery, in my imported content packs, because it's going to be it's not going to be as easy to find them as it would be if I had just put them in my regular gallery. So on this next page, we'll talk about how to move them from one place to another. What we can do to move those files is what I'm going to, I can pull up my post-it notes pack here, and two different ways that I can do this. I can either right-click on it, select copy, and then paste it in the location that I want, or I can select it and then click on install, and then that installs it as a subfolder in my gallery, or it creates a new subfolder of that gallery. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that content pack from the imported gallery to a newly created gallery folder, and then I'm going to rename it. So I've got my post-it notes pack right here. I'm going to right-click on that, click on Install, and you'll see it gets out of my imported content packs. It deletes it out of here, and now it's up here in my gallery. So if I go down to Post-it Notes, that's where it is. I'm going to rename this by right-click and then click Rename. You'll see that I get a text box there now. And I want to call this Post-it Notes. And now my name has been changed as soon as I hit Enter. That change is done, and you'll see I've got my images right here. I'm good to go with my Post-it notes. Some activities for you to try with importing content packs, and also a challenge file. Sent at the beginning of the session, I sent a file with a Post-it notes gallery file, as well as a challenge and some documents for you to look over. I encourage you to begin building a gallery folder of your own resources that you can integrate into your curriculum. Back up and export your main gallery folder. And then I would also encourage you to learn more from our other Quick Learn sessions. Mimio Training, both on-demand and online resources to meet your training needs. There are reference guides, video tutorials, user guides, and other Quick Learn recordings that you can access at Mimio.com. You can also sign up for our live training sessions through Quick Learn. These are interactive sessions where you can work with people with experienced trainers, as well as other people who are in similar circumstances to you, and have an opportunity to learn from each other and learn together how to use the software. Mimio Connect, I mentioned before, is our interactive teaching community with tons of free educational teacher created resources, lessons that are aligned to state and Common Core standards, as well as scads of gallery files. So go out there and see if you can find some files, and also some gallery images and content that you can use with your lessons. It's a large, active online community, new things coming out every day, and then there are also Mimio Masters who will answer your questions directly. So if you haven't already, very strongly encourage you to join our community of educators at MimioConnect.com. Here are the Mimio Classroom products. If you'd like more information about them, you can contact your local sales rep or reseller. You can go to Mimio.com, or you can call 877-MyMimio. Here's a link to an assessment that you can take after our session is completed here. This assessment will give you a certificate after you've completed it. You'll get a certificate that will be good for 1 hour of professional development credit in your state or district if they accept those. So I encourage you to do that after we're done here. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can contact us at training@mimio.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/mimio.technology. Watch us on YouTube, and of course, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/MimioTechnology.